I have to create all these things. Operator kind of thing. YouTube live recording to the computer.
Yes. See, it's a little bit difficult.
Remain in the group and maybe a few more can join.
Oh, okay, sir. I think I will also message them to ask them to join if they are free.
Yeah,
Okay, sir. So may I know how long does this meeting last so that
maybe
I also
1 hour. It would be going for 1 hour.
okay.
Mm.
Then I'll ask them to come and join by
Mm.
6:45. Like within that time, like join before that. Okay. Okay, sir. I send the message.
Ah,
Sir, may I ask a question regarding the survey, sir?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, sir, am I allowed to send the survey link to an online forum in Instagram and say that if you guys like answer it properly, your answers could be contributed to WHO so that they are more motivated towards answering the survey?
Where do you want to submit?
In Instagram, sir, like online forums, so that
Yeah,
people
yeah,
of
you can get the consent if we want to discuss in the online forum, but you should not mention the name or any particulars of the participant, individual particulars.
no problem, sir. I'll just okay. Then
Yeah,
I'll say that the responses are
because
anonymous.
the PDPA, the Personal Data Protection Act is very serious in Singapore. Maybe you can have a look at what is mentioned in the PDPA, the photo or identification of a single person or personality. We should not expose to the public without their consent.
Okay,
Any
sir.
any NRIC number or any address, even a photograph. So we should not get into the public without getting their consent or notification. But no need. Actually, we can make a kind of indirect data like the group study, ensure the age group like 20 years to 45 years like that. So that way we can able to convey. But individual person like name and other details we should not give.
Yeah, yes, sir. The responses are anonymous. We only
Yeah, yeah.
require
Responses
the
we can able to reflect, but we can able to get a consent if they are having anything with that kind of reflections on the social media. If it is not, then we can use it. Yeah.
okay, sir. If they have any like reflections regarding the study, then we will ask them personally whether if we can use their
Mm,
responses with
yeah,
consent. Okay, thank you, sir.
yeah. It's a responsibility for us, yeah, when we are conducting any studies or conclude any reports.
I see, sir.
We too are here. The lady in India, power cut is there, so she's expecting soon to come.
Oh,
Because the Wi-Fi and other things may not work.
oh, that's why Madam just disconnected. I see.
Mm,
Never mind, sir. No problem. I can be here as long as possible
no
because
problem. I will start in 5 minutes. Anyhow, no, because we are going on online. So
yeah, no
it's
problem, sir.
a recorder also we can able to create. No problem.
Hmm. Okay, sir.
ம். யாருக்கு போட்டது அது? யாருக்கு வச்சிருந்தீங்க? Hello, good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Sorry for
Good evening.
making you to involve on Sunday. I don't know.
Not an issue, sir. It's 30 minutes, no problem.
Yeah, it's a short because we are making a recording and also YouTube live. Here in Singapore, mostly the schools are in holidays, June holidays. Here I have one internship student, Mr. Kavin. Other
Good
people,
evening.
yeah. Actually, he's working on some survey data source to collect about the lifestyle-induced kind of defects or impacts creating diseases. He himself and a few colleagues of him are also working on it.
Okay, that's nice.
He's in junior college, preparing for medicine course. Teacher, medical student. So I will start first. I will brief something about the health and wellness industry. Later I introduce and you can start so we can record and go with the YouTube. Is there any other people will join from your side or?
I had shared with the people because Sunday is the only thing. All 6
Here
days
also
they are working,
many people are excusing.
all 6 days they are working, and on Sunday, if they want to come, they'll say, Madam, it's Sunday, please give me 1 day leave.
Yeah. It's okay, no problem. Just we can record and later we can share the link so they can able to.
Okay.
So I will start first. Hello, good evening all. Today we have the Health and Wellness 2023 online virtual conference. The series will have the eminent personalities who can come forward to share their vision and mission or their activities which are going to make the huge change or influence the health and wellness sector. Today we have the eminent personality, Dr. Sheila Sasikumar. She is expert in clinical research and clinical investigations. And recently she got a patent for her guidelines and formulations for wound healing. So first I will brief about the topic, trillion-dollar economy, health and wellness industry. So later Dr. Sheila will talk about the current challenges and opportunities in clinical research and clinical trials. So first I will start my session. So today world, everywhere we are talking about the trillion-dollar economy, the GDP induced factors, making the people to sense from millions to billions to trillions. So everywhere the countries, the economy, and then the strategies, they are working to formulate better for the trillion-dollar industries or trillion-dollar economy, contribute to the betterment of the country's wealth. So today we are going to see the trillion-dollar industry as a health and wellness sector. We could not able to omit, we could not able to avoid because education, health and wellness, as well as the factories are involved with the health and wellness sector or industries like healthcare sectors, hospitals, or any kind of pharmaceutical industries. which are going to added value for these particular sectors. The next trillion-dollar industry we can formulate health and wellness sector. So what would be the scenario? What would be the factors? What would be the features we could be able to analyze and understand better? That is the way we can able to get some idea or take away from this particular talk session. So myself, Dr. B. Ramanathan, I am the founder and managing director of ACE International Private Limited, Singapore. We are providing business management consultancy in wide range, compliance, regulation, auditing, certifications, education and training in different sectors, business funding arrangements, sourcing expertise contributions for the industry, digital transformational solutions, and so on. So why we have to consider the wellness industry is the next generation or next level of trillion-dollar economy? Because there are many things available and many things are role playing. Actually, it is the integrated and holistic approach we can say in that kind of point of view. So many industries are combined together, contributing better for the health and wellness sector. Especially here, we could see the yoga practices or the equipments which are providing the support, or nutritional values, exercise, or any routine checkup to ensure your body conditions and tablets, etc. Professor Paul Zahn-Pilzer, he wrote the few books, especially the next $1 trillion economy around with health and wellness. The wellness is having the revolution to contribute better for the next $1 trillion. The wellness industry will exceed more than $1 trillion worth, especially the healthcare industry in the next 10 years, like that he predicted. The great entrepreneurial opportunities will be emerging, and it would be distributing a lot, especially in the manufacturing of wellness products and services. So that is the way the network marketing are combining to create today's and tomorrow's new health. So we could be able to see the way the personalized medicine ensure to level the body's mechanism, cope up with the medicines. So that is the way we have to foresee. There are certain values will be added in coming years. The diagnosis, medicines, therapies or therapeutic methods would be very personalized for the person who can able to get specific treatment for any diseases. The same way, everywhere now the medical tourism, especially the health and wellness tourism, it is spreading all over the world, and number of people who wanted to go and have this kind of travel to get rid of the treatment for their diseases. Especially in North America, having the expenditures nearly $241.7 billion expenditures, Europe $210.8 billion, and Asia you can able to measure the similar way, 258 million trips made to Asia. So many ways we can able to analyze and aggregate together the global wellness, especially the wellness tourism is going to boost, and it is creating the new world economy. Global wellness economy is currently around $4.5 to $5 trillion. So this is the worth we could able to see. Wellness and tourism is making nearly $436 billion worth. And personal care and beauty, as I already mentioned, around $955 billion worth. Other activities like yoga, personal fitness, training, or any kind of activities which are ensuring for your physical activity is around $738 billion. Healthy eating, nutrition, and other therapies like weight loss therapy and all, $946 billion. These are all the way. Alternative medicines, traditional and complementary medicine is around $413 billion worth. So we can able to pursue or analyze this one in a deeper and best way. How do we able to ensure the future model for the health and wellness sector? currently the $3.4 trillion global industry is making around wellness industry and $1 trillion along with the pharmaceutical industry, the drug manufacturing industries who are ensuring 1/5 or 1/4 of the sectors. So that is the way we have to concentrate more deeper and better for the pharmaceutical industry, how to ensure the personalized medicines. Because now we are giving the range of medicines which are ensuring the age group or disease management scenario, but later period it would be a combinations are particularly going to add value for the personal manner. 3.2 billion workers almost they are working and they are contributing better. Mostly 74% or less than getting $13 per day. 45% they are having very low skills according to the situation when they are involving for the manual operations in this industry. 77% they are having either temporary or freelance kind of opportunities, sometimes volunteers, mostly volunteers. $4.3 trillion, how it would be segregated, personal care and beauty, cosmetics and other therapies, healthy eating, nutritional factors, physical activities, wellness, tourism, traditional and alternative medicines, wellness oriented properties, public health and prevention or personalized medicine, workplace wellness or workplace safety measurements, and any other added values. All these together, we can able to create the economy for this health and wellness sector. These are all the top 5: personal care, healthy eating, wellness, tourism, fitness, and personalized medicine, contributing the major economical values. So healthonomics, how the health is making the economy to sustain for the particular area or particular region. So on the counter OTC, without prescription oriented kind of medicines, there are a lot of pharmaceutical industry stores and other selling points in online. So we can able to concentrate more to boost up all these things. How it would be creating the new venture or new collaborations for the people, online presence, some kind of regional presence. That is the added value we have to concentrate better. Global and wellness market is going to expand year by year, especially 2025, we can able to get increase of nearly 6.29% as per the ratio. Here we could see the diagrammatic illustrations, the graph. 2023, it is around $5 trillion, but we could see 2030, it would be $7.6 trillion. Almost 50% increase would be possible within next 7 years of period. So we have to categorize our activities, our focus, our plans, how we can able to engage and contribute better for this particular sector. So research is one of the best area where we can able to leverage the new inventions, innovations, or any kind of design, the equipments or any other added value systems, either softwares or equipments which are making the new ailments or new technology source for the health and wellness sector. What we are having currently, it is the lifestyle where we are having the healthy lifestyle or not. So we must need to analyze, review, and report how it would be added value for the self or personal values or integrative healthcare for the holistic approach. It would be a kind of work-life balance, mind, body, soul kind of activities or any kind of movements, activity to the surrounding or environmental calamities like now everywhere the green energies or green source or climatic concern is getting more attractions. So we have to work together and relationship in the community from the family, working environment, society, wherever it is possible, we have to have the good relationships, personal values, the developments for the person. He has to transform and leverage the quality of life due course of his maturity, spirituality, sleep and rest. Many people, they don't consider sleep is very important, but now the sleep medicine or sleep disorders, which are making the disease formation everywhere, the awareness created. And nutritional values, we must need to ensure we are eating nutritious elements or nutritious contents that is almost giving the right energy and will not endorse any kind of defects in the body. So we can able to think how to avoid the chronic diseases. That is the way we can able to use the lifestyle is very healthy for each and everyone. So yes, International Private Limited, we are business consulting company. We are providing different kind of services to ensure the business excellence or human empowerment strategies. So that is the way we are working together with the different kind of stakeholders like institutions, industries, social organizations, or any individuals who can able to come and join hand with us to strategize the direction and focus how to leverage for the betterment and become more excellent in their performance. That is the goal sets we want to achieve for the people and society. Thank you for your patience. This is a little inputs from my side, how to think the huge economy sources driven by health and wellness sector. So we will work out more and we can plan to work together for achieving the greatness for the people and society. Thank you. So now I wish to invite Dr. Sheila Sasikumar. She is having the capacity to ensure her level to speak out about the topic. She is the managing partner in SS Clinic Research, registered in India. She is women entrepreneur, motivator, and mentor. She is having this startup, and she's a consultant head clinical research, Dr. R.K. Diabetic Food Care and Pediatric Institute, and Rakesh Junjunwala Amputation Prevention Center, Professor E.P. Odam Gold Medal Awardee, Seed Fund Technical Sub-Coordinate Committee member, Golden Jubilee Women Biotech Park, Distinguished Adjunct Faculty, Department of Biochemistry, Savita Dental College and Hospitals, and many more endorsements she has. She is having good clinical practice. She is providing the training for the people who wanted to ensure it. SS Clinic Research, it's a sister concern of SS Healthcare, is one of the top platform for providing the clinical research and online educational services. She assists innovators, organizations to transform the innovative pharmaceutical, herbaceutical, nutraceutical, biotechnology products, medical devices, artificial intelligence-based healthcare products, cosmetics, etc., into a commercial reality oriented by providing high quality kind of clinical research attachments. She provides clinical trial management solutions based on the latest emerging technology. Also, she mentors students who want to pursue their higher education in healthcare products and basic science research. Her area of expertise, clinical research, biochemistry, nanotechnology, 3D, bioprinting, molecular biology, natural products, bioactivity, etc. She has few patents. Also recently, she has wound healing formulations and practices. Dr. Rajesh Kesavan Diabetic Food Assessment App, diabetic wound dressing materials. These are all the patent rights she holds. She has research publications, nearly 60 plus publications till date. She has 6 book chapters published. So she is a well-known person in the clinical research where she is working. And we can have her today for presenting the clinical research challenges and opportunities, how it is going to add value for the people who want to pursue their career and plans for continuing in clinical research. There are many people, they are entering into the lab for doing basic biomedical research, basic research, but clinical research is quite tricky. You have to attach to the hospitals and physicians where you can able to collaborate in different level of doing the research in a collaborative and joint venture manner. I wish to welcome Dr. Sheila Sasikumar. You can deliver your speech. I will engage you as a co-host, so you can also make your presentation.
Good evening, all.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
My voice is audible and my screen is visible. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible. If you want, you can open the video also.
Yeah. Just a minute. I think some nobody will right. Now, is it okay?
Yeah, it is fine. Thank you.
Fine. Yes. Let me put it in the slide mode. Okay. Good evening to one and all. And I thank Dr. Ramanathan Sir, ACE International Singapore, for providing me an opportunity to discuss and share my experiences in clinical research. So as he said, I'm a women entrepreneur with more than 3 decades of experience. Thank you, sir, for such a nice, warm introduction about me.
You are welcome, madam.
So I'm Dr. C. Sheila Sasikumar. Basically, I'm a biochemist, clinical biochemist with more than 3 decades of R&D and academic experience, and turned into a women entrepreneur. And women entrepreneur, especially in the clinical research, is really a challenge, and it's a very important task also. And all the things that help me is because I'm in the hospital sector. So we are able to see as Dr. Ramanathan was explaining, as how health sector is growing. Health sector, pharma sector are all growing sectors. So my concept always is, wherever I go, I stress on women empowerment. So women empowerment is one of the strategic challenges for sustainable development. So that's why I'm here as a women entrepreneur. And a few seconds about me and about my organization. SS Clini Research LLP is a sister concern of SS Healthcare, and it's a one-stop platform for clinical research and education, mainly concerned with clinical research, but education, being a teacher, it's a passion for me. And also we do product development and all type of services pertaining to educational services. So when you talk about the clinical research, and one of the important mantra in the clinical research of my organization concerned is translation of products from bench to bedside, especially whatever the basic research happens, if it is beneficial to the society, to the human society, we take up the translation research. And in that case, the quality, the efficacy of the product, patient safety, being ethical. Ethical is one of the important concern here, and data integrity is what my business demands. Also, to say that I have projected in the clinical research. So if you see here, clinical research, as I told you now, the healthcare sector is growing. We have AI powered tools, AI devices, machine learning devices, all have technology that is in the post-COVID era. If you see, technology has implemented in all sectors, especially in the healthcare sectors. So this is one of the clinical research we have carried on, and we published this as a paper. This is, if you see here, she's Gitanjali, who is the innovator. This is the device which is very useful in the diabetic foot assessment. So we took up this clinical research of this product. And if you see, this is the publication we made, and it is able to give a prediction, not a prediction, able to give a complete detail of the wound within few minutes. So this is very important device as far as diabetic foot ulcer is concerned. This is another clinical research to show a 2-3, which is very important recently. That is because they are all AI devices, or they are into the what you call personalized tools or customized devices and all those things that come up. So this is one of the device which we carried out. It's from Rohit Healthcare. It's a 3D printing, autologous 3D printing device, which is widely used in the diabetic foot ulcer. Now it has been taken up by the Alkem, and it is now called as Derm. So this we have in our hospital, Dr. R.K. Diabetic Foot and Podiatry Institute and Rakesh Jhunjhunwala Amputation Prevention Center. We have this 4D bioprinting device, and we do this 4D bioprinting technology in case of diabetic foot ulcer. It's autologous. So the publication you can view, this is the link that is provided in the bottom of the slide. So apart from the clinical research, we do give practice to the professionals in the clinical research, especially the medical professionals involved in the clinical research, good clinical practice, regulatory guidelines for ethics committee, site project teams, investigators, clinical research organizations, site management organizations, etc., so that they have a clear view of recent updates of regulatory guidelines. This is one of the service we do. And apart from this, we have educational services regarding training, workshop, conferences, all those things. You can see all these are being provided to all the life science students, UG, PG, PhD, all students. Then apart from this, we help them in the product development. If they are involved in the innovation, if they have an idea, a POC, a proof of concept, where they want to bring up a new device or new something that is helpful for the human community, we involve and we help them in the product development. Apart from this, we have R&D services, mentoring programs for the PhD students, documentation, etc. So this is where I participated as a mentor in the Startup PN Adagalam program. And as sir was telling, this is the recent one, only yesterday we got it. It's a patent granted to the product which we had worked for more than 6 years on the Ganoderma mushroom, which is prepared as a transdermal patch. It's a nano, what I can call it is, it has nano silver particles. It's a nano-based product, which is biodegradable, and it will be very useful for the wound healing. So coming to our main topic, the topic given to me is clinical research challenges and opportunities. Now, before we go into the clinical research, we should understand what is Hippocratic Oath. So Hippocratic Oath, which is primarily known for the principle to cause no harm to the subject. So our main aim is to cause no harm to the subject. So that is why we follow all the regulatory guidelines, ethical principles to protect the safety and the safety of the patients, and the data integrity is also important. So what is this clinical research about? So clinical research can be defined as patient-oriented research. That means research conducted in the human subjects, for which an investigator will directly involve with the human subject. And here when I say that research, it doesn't mean about the in vitro studies, only studies concerned with the direct link with the human subjects, not the tissues or in vitro studies. So patient-oriented research may include mechanism of human diseases, how the disease happens, what is the mechanism, and what are the receptors involved and all those things. Or it can be therapeutic interventions, or clinical trials or development of new technologies, or it can be epidemiology and behavioral studies, outcomes of research and health service research. So clinical research is a concept where we are going to use a human subject to do all these things. So when I'm saying a clinical research, we are involving human subjects, then definitely a regulatory guidelines should be there. So before going in detail, we have to understand that any basic research that happens in the laboratory, the product that is innovated, which is going to be helpful to the human community, it can be in any form, a device, any product, any biological product, a biotech product, or anything. What happens is that before it comes to the market, it has to undergo several processes. So the basic research has to be carried out into a next form, the preclinical research or animal-based research, where we follow the OECD guidelines to understand that how well it is performing its action, what is the safety, does it cause any toxicity, etc. Then only we move on to the clinical research. So what is this clinical research concerned with? The principle behind is good clinical practice. Good clinical practice, how will you define it? Any internationally, that is GCP is a internationally accepted ethical scientific quality standard. It's a standard. Everyone internationally, whether it can be India or any country, whoever does this, they have to follow the standard that is used to design, conduct an experiment or a clinical research, record it, and report the data. The clinical trials then involve the participation of human subjects. So it's an accepted ethical standard. It's a scientific standard, which you have to follow if you are going to carry out a clinical research. It encompasses all the aspects and facets of clinical trials. That is from stage when the trials are initiated, that is commencement of the trial, till the stage where the clinical trial is closure and the results are reported. So every aspect we follow the guidelines until all the things are done completely. So this particular guideline is called good clinical practice. So the two most important tenets that we follow or set down by the GCP guidelines is one, protection of human subjects. That is very, very important. Two, authenticity and reliability of the biomedical data produced. So how will you define good clinical practice? It is nothing but GCP is equal to rights, well-being, safety of the subjects, plus the data quality and the integrity. All these will come under good clinical practice. So under this ICH GCP, we have 13 principles. And these 13 principles, each one will have one particular thing. First one is the ethical principles, followed by benefit risk ratio. We have to assess whether the benefit is more and the risk is minimal. Then only we have to proceed it. Rights or safety of the subject is the most important concern. Drugs information, all the details about the drugs that we are going to trial, whether this trial is scientifically sound and it has a proper protocol and all the things are clearly written. And is this protocol that is clearly written is approved by the ethical committee and medical care by the principal investigator, where we are going to do the study, the site at which is studied is the principal investigator should be a qualified person by education, experience, and training. Then whether the site has all the infrastructural facilities and it has qualified individuals to conduct the trial, the site should have the ability to take the informed consent, and the data should be accurate, all the data should be recorded, and all the data should have recorded, and the quality of the data is very, very important. Confidentiality of the data, and the drugs which is used for the study of the clinical research is the drug manufactured by GMP, that is good manufacturing practice, and explain the protocol of the drug manufacture, and finally quality assurance. With all these 13 principles we follow for the clinical research, and I'm not going in detail with the regulatory guidelines, that is deviating from my topic. So basically, good clinical practice has to be followed when one goes to learn the clinical research or to perform a clinical research. So when we do this, whenever the new drug or new product, any biological product, innovative product comes to the market, what we do, it has to get approved before it is commercialized. So in order to get approved, it has to follow systematic guidelines. So this new drug, it will be studied using volunteers, patients, and then there will be a specific healthcare team. So this clinical trial will help to improve the healthcare. So it plays an important role in improving the healthcare. So we are going to judge, assess the drug, whether it is suitable for this particular disease. So that is done specifically by the healthcare team, and volunteers help us. So here I have projected the different phases of clinical trial. Now, if you see basic research, I told you, the basic research follows the preclinical. Actually, basic research happens in the laboratory. So if one is working, the group of people are working on a product, and the proof of concept is clearly explained and the prototype is developed. Now this will be proved and assessed in the preclinical laboratory, and the preclinical laboratory will assess the safety, the toxicity, everything they analyze based on the OECD guidelines. Then we come across the clinical trial, which comprises of phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and phase 4. Phase 1 is assessing the safety of the drug, how it interacts with the human body. Then phase 2 will be to safety and dosing. So phase 2 and phase 3 will be the patients, and phase 1 will be the volunteers. So safety and dosing will be assessed. In phase 3, safety and efficacy will be assessed. And once it is submitted for the regulatory guidelines, everything goes on with all the proper documentation. Then we move on to the phase 4, which is called the post-marketing, say where with the safety and efficacy will be assessed in a population on a complete community. So this is how the clinical trial process, and it proceeds from the basic research. So we can say that it helps in the translation of any product that is concerned with from the bench to bedside. That means it will be very useful to the patients, for the patient population, for a set of diseases, etc. So the success of a trial depends on the different people in the team. So it's a teamwork and sharing of responsibility occurs. So there will be a sponsor, the sponsor, and the sponsor, the pharma company, whoever gives it, CRO to SMO, and they will select a principal investigator. The site will be selected, the feasibility of the site, infrastructure, facility of the site, everything will be assessed. The principal investigator qualification will be assessed, whether he has proper education, training, experience, and good clinical practice, whether he is a qualified clinician to carry out that particular research, etc. The collaborators, the pharmacy, the nursing staff, the regulatory people, the data management, all these help in a successful clinical trial. So a clinical trial depends upon the teamwork of all these people, which helps to bring a product into a market. So about the clinical research we saw. Now we'll see what is clinical trial market, how it is, and the present scenario. Now, Dr. Balakrishna Ramanathan was explaining about the healthcare and health wellness and what is the impact in the economy, etc. Yes, similarly, clinical trial market has a value. Clinical trial management system market was valued as 1.7 billion in 2021. And this is the report given by Maximize Market Research. Now, if the link is provided here, if you see this research and the statistics, they say that from 2021, 1.7, the CAGR value is 12%, and it will go up to what you call 6.1% from 2022 to 2029. That means there is a constant increase in the market size. And if you see, these are the key players in the international market who are involved in that clinical trial. So I have projected here in the global form. Now, clinical trial market was valued as 48.7 billion. The total clinical trial market revenue is expected to grow 6.1% CAGR from 2022 to 2029. That means it will reach 78.3 billion during this forecast period, whatever they have explained. So there is an increase. So clinical trial market is a booming sector. In case of India, if you see clinical trial market in India with the phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have mentioned here, the size, etc. And these are the companies which are the key players. So internationally, the clinical trial market is adding economy, and we have to consider this. Similarly, total number of registered clinical trials worldwide since 2000. So this is also the data provided by Statista.com. As of May 29, 2023, there are nearly 454,000 clinical trials or studies that are registered globally. So much of studies have been registered globally. And the number of clinical studies have significantly increased since there were just 2,119 registered in 2000. So you can see how well from 2000 to 2023 it has increased. So that means more number of products are coming into the market, more healthcare products, more personalized medicines, more customized medicines or tailored medicines, devices, tools, software, wearable devices, and technologies. And in diagnostics, everywhere you have new innovative products coming up. So this has increased steadily the number of clinical trials or studies that is being registered globally. So in general, clinical trials have grown more complex because in recent years, it remains vital for the research and development of new products and drugs. So as number of products is being steadily increasing also, clinical trials is found to be very complex, and the regulatory guidelines has to be strictly followed in developing these products and validating these products. So if you can see, so it has steadily increased. And this is as of May 29, 2023, you have 454 clinical trials. So this shows that clinical research has a very important place or very important thing in a healthcare sector. Based on the end user, the clinical trial management system is segmented into pharmaceutical and biotechnology firms, medical devices, and others. So if you see the percentage according to 2021, pharmaceutical and biotechnology firms is occupying the highest one, followed by medical devices and others, biological product kits, diagnostic kits, etc. So anyway, there is a steady increase in the clinical research, and everybody wants the product to be commercialized. To commercialize the product, we need a We need a basic clinical study being conducted and approved by the regulatory authority. So what are the factors that are propelling the clinical trial market expansion across the globe? Let us see globally. One, growing prevalence of chronic disorders, right? We have now, if you see, there is an increase in the chronic disorders. Maybe as Ramanathan sir was explaining, it can be due to the lifestyle changes. Maybe there are several factors which we have to assess. Then increase in the number of clinical trials in the developing regions, then growing number of biologics, of course, increased demand for advanced treatment. This is very, very important. Nowadays, we want personalized medicines. Instead of a general one, we say according to the patient. The development of the product is according to the patient. So there is an increase in the demand for the advanced technology, advanced treatments for personalized medicine, outbreak of viral diseases, increased cases of cancer globally, growing geriatric population, and growing research and development expenditure. So all these factors pushes clinical trial forward, and there is a market expansion across the globe, out of which I find the crucial factors that can be jotted down for the growth of the market is growing prevalence of chronic disorders, increase in the number of clinical trials in the developing regions, growing number of biologics, biotech products, etc., increased demand for the advanced treatment of personalized medicine. So these are some factors that act as very crucial factors for the accountable increase in the market growth of clinical research. Let us see what are the market drivers that help us to do this. So adoption of new technology in clinical research. So now after COVID, let us talk about only the post-COVID era. We say 21st century is a digital era. Everywhere technology is being implemented. In healthcare also, technology is widely implemented in all aspects. So similarly, you have digitization in biomedical research. So it helps in streamlining the clinical trial process, thereby probing the sponsors. So if the technology is being introduced, everything goes on in a proper way, and there is a decrease in the time interval also. What happens is that sponsors will start to invest more in the clinical trial, as chances of successful clinical trials are more through the adoption of new technologies. So they know that technology being used, everything goes on systematically, and also the amount of time will be reduced when you do in a technical way. So this is one of the things. So adoption of new technology is one of the factors that helps us. Then shift towards the personalized medicine or customized medicine. So previously we had a mentality that one size will fit all. Now this is acting as a barrier for the drugs that are currently in pipeline. So slowly we are shifting to the concept that personalized medicines. So this concept is expected to increase the use of pharmacogenetics in clinical trial phase, thereby increasing the pipeline of drugs. Then increasing collaboration of biomedical research. This is also one of the important market drivers. The trend of combination trials and collaboration in clinical trials is expected to rise, which would further boost the global clinical trial market. So what happens is that due to the high cost in the drug development, the biopharmaceutical companies are now forming collaboration or alliance with each other to increase their resources and share the risk of high cost. So there is a promising collaboration is happening to produce a very important drugs where the cost is going to be a main factor. Next is growing disease variation and prevalence. We know worldwide population has varied disease profile, with the emerging countries having the most diverse disease profile. So diverse population is very important, and diverse population means easy recruitment of patients and faster clinical trial process. And another very important thing is about the rare diseases. Rare diseases are given a status as orphan disease in US and biopharmaceutical companies who sponsor the clinical trials for orphan drugs would get incentives. So this is a way of boosting also. So they get incentive for the process. This is also one of the important market driver. Now, so we understand that clinical trial market has a value and it is one of the growing, I can say it is one of the growing area of a healthcare sector. So definitely when it is growing, there can be some challenges also which we should face. So what are the major challenges faced by the clinical trial industry globally? Main challenges, let us say the main challenges can be patient recruitment, designing a trial, ensuring and maintaining the regulatory compliance, and preventing the professional patients. So let us see in detail. The first important key determinant for a successful clinical study is recruitment and retention of patients. Recruitment and retention of subjects. Difficulty in finding the eligible participants, maintaining the participant engagement and retention. Worldwide, the clinical trial professionals experience pressure and several challenges with respect to recruitment and retention of participants. So this is one of the important factor if you see. So recruitment and retention of participants is one of the important challenge. Clinical research needs participants with diverse background. Diverse participant background can lead to more comprehensive and accurate results in clinical research, including individuals from different ethnicities, genders, ages, socioeconomic status can help to identify unique health and concern and improve treatment option. Lack of diversity in the clinical trial can lead to biased result and inadequate representation of certain population. Encouraging participation from the underrepresented groups can also help to address the health disparities and promote equity in healthcare. So clinical research needs participants with a diverse background. The next important challenge is funding, limited funding opportunities. So if you see who is going to fund the clinical trials, mainly the government organization, the investors. In case of academic studies, it is going to be universities or charity, etc. So funding is also an important challenge to carry out the clinical trial because we have limited funding opportunities. High cost, definitely. Conducting clinical trials is expensive. So factors such as regulatory requirement, long trial duration, and more complex trial design contribute to the rising cost. Next factor is the regulatory compliance. Compliance with the ethical and legal guidelines, meeting regulatory requirements for the approval. Regulatory landscape for clinical trial is complex and constantly evolving. So ensuring compliance with the regulation in different countries can be really challenging, and non-compliance can result in delays or even, we can say, termination of a trial. So this is one of the important challenge. Then data management and analysis. As I said previously, data accuracy and integrity is very, very important in a clinical study. So if you see here, data quality, data security, data privacy, data integrity, all these are the phases under the data management. So we want an accurate data, accuracy and integrity is very important. Quality of the data, ensuring the quality and accuracy is also very crucial in the process of the clinical trial. The next important challenge may be access to the technology and infrastructure. Especially, it is very essential for conducting the clinical trials. When the trial is being conducted in regions, for example, in a region where they do not have necessary resources or they have lack of these resources, what happens is the access to the technology is limited. As a result, what happens, there will be a delay in conducting a clinical trial. So access to technology and infrastructure can also be an important challenge, especially in those areas where there is a problem in access of technology. Time constraints, especially lengthy and approval processes when it is going to be time-consuming study procedures, definitely time will be a constraint. Complexity of the study design, that means the protocol. Designing the studies that are scientifically rigorous and feasible. Addressing confounding variables and biases. So complexity of the study design is also one challenge. So we have seen so many challenges. So the main challenges, if I'm going to point out, it is going to be the patient recruitment and the retention. The participant recruitment for that particular protocol and retention of the participant is going to be a main challenge in a clinical study. And other factors are on-time delivery, study startup, ensuring compliances, communication, data accuracy, and others. So these are the main challenges that we face during in the process of clinical trial. The last part, what we are going to see here is the opportunities in the area of the clinical research. We know, now we understand clinical research or clinical trial, whatever it is, has a very important, significant position in a healthcare sector. So there are a lot of opportunities in the clinical research. So if you see this picture, these are stakeholders in clinical research. We start from the basic research to the preclinical research. Then we move on to the clinical research. Everywhere you have the opportunities. You have testing of the product, laboratory test, writing, research protocol writing, documentation, animal testing. So we want technicians, we want research scholars to do this process, animal testing. Then when you go for the clinical research, you have the process of dose finding, proof of concept, comparative efficacy, and all those things. Then data analysis, where biostatistician will come in picture, follow-up, etc. So everywhere you have a need of a person. So a career in clinical research is a professional perspective. Clinical research is a vital component of a healthcare industry, and it plays a vital role or a crucial role in the development of new treatment and therapies for various diseases and medical conditions. A career in clinical research can be definitely rewarding as well as challenging, as it requires a unique set of skills and expertise. With the growing demands for the professionals in this field, there are numerous opportunities that are available for the career growth and advancement. Fast-growing industry in India, there is a surge in demand for these candidates related to medical education or health sciences, which have the necessary education skills. So clinical research career is definitely a vital and a very important, but you need to have, or you need to possess certain skills and experience for that. So what are those skills that is known or that you need or that you possess? One is technical skill, knowledge, and personal qualities. Some of the essential skills are education, education. That means you should have a life science degree, pharmacy, nursing, or any other medical degree. Attention to detail. So it involves meticulous attention to detail to ensure that data is accurate and reliable. Yes, definitely you need communication skills. Effective communication is very, very essential, especially when you are working with a multidisciplinary team and a so that the information, any complex information that is there, has to be properly communicated. I showed you different stakeholders. So you need to communicate with all these stakeholders properly so that whatever the information is being given should be clearly given to them so that it will be processed. Analytical skills involves analyzing large amount of data and identifying trends and patterns. Ethical conduct, clinical research involves working with human subjects. So definitely ethical conduct and a commitment to protecting the rights and welfare is the most important thing that you need to possess. So based on that, I tried to list it out here. You have clinical research associate, clinical trial coordinator, data manager involved in clinical trial data management, CDM, clinical project manager, medical writer, pharmacovigilance, a biostatistician, a study coordinator, monitor, clinical trial managers and data specialists, etc. So there are wide options open in clinical research for us to pursue the career. So I thank Dr. Balakrishnan Ramanathan, AC International Singapore, for providing me an opportunity to just share my experience in clinical research and challenges and what are the careers that are available. And any questions, I'm always available in online. You can find me in the following email IDs. You can draft a mail and send it to me. I'll readily address your queries. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you from SS Clini Research.
Thank you, madam. You can opt out from the shared screen. Really, it is fascinating and it is informing to the audience in a wide range of the details, especially your career, what is your experience and how you would pursue the ongoing research with the different kind of stakeholders who are involved with the clinical trial and clinical research. Many people, they could not able to ensure because they are doing basic research, the fundamental things, whatever the way, the bench oriented kind of things in the lab. But when we are going into the hospital environment, there are a lot of complaints and regulations. We cannot able to overrule all these kind of compliance regulation because it's strictly governing by the vigilance people who are ensuring these kind of regulations or regulatory compliance strictly followed in the hospital environment, even dealing with the patient's details, especially the PDP, the personal data protection and other things also. There are a lot of concerns and other requirements we must need to ensure to protect all these details. And then the reports, as you mentioned, we conduct the research, but how could we report it in the stipulated manner? Because there are a lot of analytical tools and review analysis or the experts who can able to intervene the data and able to bring the value addition for that kind of report. It's all involved in the conduct of trials and conduct of this kind of regulatory things in the particular environment. Hopefully you are doing great and you are formulating the betterment and you are recently accumulating the IP, intellectual property rights for your research and design. Whatever the methodology you are following, whatever the guidelines you are proposing to the people. So it would be giving the highlights for the people who can able to get the benefit out of that. There are many people who wanted to learn and explore this particular career opportunity, but they could not able to reach to the right person or personality. Hopefully your support will be required for them. Either they are internship students or any kind of professionals, the faculties who wanted to pursue the clinical research as a career aspects for their current and future kind of research projects, what they wanted to design and pursue. So I would like to appeal the audience, if you have any questions or any queries, just you can open your mic and ask to her. India is having a large opportunity in this particular sector, especially the genetic diversity in India is very high when compared to
Yes.
other nations.
Yes.
So the pharmaceutical companies are very keen to conduct this kind of studies in different kind of genetical variants. India, fortunately, we are having more genetical variants in our population.
Diverse
It is one of the
population.
positive. Yeah, other places you could not see more variants. Mostly they are having the similarities, and we could not able to differentiate into many variants. But India has more different genetic variants. And that is the ideal thing. Many pharmaceutical companies, they wanted to penetrate into India to find out the reports, how it would be possible for them to submit for the approval, especially the new drug. Kevin, do you have any question? The young mind.
Yes, sir. Madam, may I ask a question regarding the phases? Uh, may I just clarify between from phase 1 and phase 2, there are no human volunteers, but then phase 3 there are human volunteers, right?
Kevin, you are not clear to me, Kevin.
Madam, can you hear me?
Yeah, your voice is breaking now, right?
Okay. So, Madam, may I clarify whether phase 1 and phase 2 do not have any human volunteers, right, Madam?
B?
Yeah,
phase 1 and phase 2, they
No, no,
don't
no.
involve human, but it's the preclinical studies.
Phase 1, phase 1, we use human volunteers. Phase 2 and phase 3, we use the deceased patients for which the study is conducted, and phase 4 patients, of course. So phase 1 will be the human volunteers. Whereas, yeah, that's
I see, Madam. But Madam, may I ask what are the challenges that are associated with the transferring of the skills from animal testing to human testing? Like, what are the necessary challenges that have to be undertaken so that there's approval for human testing after animal testing has been
see,
completed?
I personally, because I was in R&D, and then we were also working with the product, and we were doing so many products formation and all those things, development of products. I would suggest this. When you start from the scratch itself, if you follow the regulatory guidelines, whether you're going to do a device or any other biological product, yes, what are the regulatory guidelines of local regulatory guidelines and the international regulatory guidelines? If I approach and follow systematically from the scratch, that is from the basic research, and proper documentation is done, then you will not have problems on your path of commercialization. Now, if you start your work of basic research without any proper documentation or without following any regulatory, see, for example, if I want to produce a AI device or any other software or any other wearable technology, go to the guidelines. What does the guidelines say about the AI devices? How well it has to be done? So if you follow that initially, I don't think so. When you approach to the regulatory bodies, you will not face that much. And also it depends on the low risk, high risk, and another thing in case of devices. Now coming to your question to animal research. Now basic research definitely has to enter into the preclinical trials, or what you call the animal research. Now, in the animal research also, you have strict regulatory guidelines that has to be followed and approved by the Institutional Animal Ethics Committee, and only then you can get the approval and you can do the study. So this study can be conducted if your product has a GMP, that is, it is produced in a good manufacturing practice. And every way you have to see that GLP, good laboratory practice, good manufacturing practice, good clinical practice, good clinical laboratory practice. All these guidelines are being followed till the end, until you commercialize. Then I think your documentation will not have problems when it goes to the regulatory bodies. In case of animal research, what are you going to do? So spell out what you're going to assess. So you want to do, for example, I have a product on the transdermal patch. Then I have to carry out the toxicity studies. So how well I can do this acute toxicity, subacute toxicity, chronic toxicity, what are the studies I need to conduct to show that my product is not having any toxic properties when it is performed or when it is used. So only then the success of the preclinical research can be extended to the human or clinical trial. So regulatory guidelines, if you follow from the basic concept, from the base, I don't think so we'll have problems in facing all these things. If it is not followed, then you have problems. Documentation is very, very, very essential in all times of your innovation or in all times of your clinical research. Suppose Kevin is working in a laboratory for a product, you are a junior student and you want to produce some product and you have an idea as a proof of concept. So you form a team and you have to work with a team until the proof of concept is converted to a prototype. So first thing is you have to see whether there is any particular research being done earlier, because only if it is innovative, spending the time, investment, everything will be fruitful. If it is going to be the same product which is already existing in the market, I don't think so we need all these things. So it should be innovative. It should be beneficial. It should give more amount of benefits than the risk. Then definitely it can be taken for the study.
Oh, I see. Thank you very much, madam. I recognize that there are multiple practices that have to be adhered to before even reaching the, if I'm not wrong, the good clinical practice, which are the good manufacturing practices and the good laboratory practices before even the animal testing committee even gives approval for the trial to undergo animal testing. Then from there on, human testing would be approved after a certain guidelines with proper documentations are followed. Okay, thank you very much, madam.
Thank you. And one of the important thing, what I can tell you is absolute training is essential for us to understand the regulatory updates. So every now and then we can undergo training. We can undergo some certification to understand what are the current changes that have happened in the regulatory. Then understand what is GMP, GLP, GCLP is very, very important. GCP is very important for the professional team to carry out this type of research. So you can definitely undergo trainings. It will be very useful for you people, especially health professionals. They need such sort of trainings only to make themselves updated in the current technology as well as in the regulatory guidelines.
Okay, thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, Kevin.
Nice. Thank you very much, madam. Very nice of you to answer my query.
Thank you, Kevin. But still, I hope I answered your questions because your voice is really breaking. The few things which I heard, I'm making the answer. So if there is any need, I have shared my email ID. Kindly contact me through emails. Definitely, I'm available.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, how we can able to ensure the regulatory compliance or any other statutory bodies requirements to tute for the people? Is there any certification program is available either by the industries or any kind of value addition kind of institutions who are running this GCP, GMP, GLP, or GCLP kind of certification. So the stakeholders involved in different kind of categories for the clinical trials can able to do the better role and response for the requirements.
Definitely, there are courses available by the regulatory bodies itself, sir. If you go to FDA also, or if you go to the Global Health Network, all these, you have the RAPS, Regulatory Association Professionals Society, everywhere they are giving the regulatory training. And especially if you want to go for the pharmacovigilance or data management or data analysis, etc., these courses can be taken. So see to that you take the courses which is accredited and the certification has a value.
Thank you so much for the clarification. Is there any other questions? Otherwise, we can wrap up the session. If anybody wants to connect to Dr. Sheila Sasikumar for your future work or future concern, please let me know. I can able to give the details about her. So you can have some kind of nice collaboration or joint venture together with Dr. Sheila Sasikumar, who is an expert as well as eminent personality in clinical research and also making the patent rights for her studies as well as the formulations. So it would be a great help for anybody who wanted to pursue the clinical research as your future career.
So we conduct certification courses.
Mm-hmm.
Now we are, first batch is over. Now our second batch starts from June 19.
Okay.
So
it's a physical manner they have to come and
no, it's online.
Online, okay.
It's an online mode we do for that with our hospital. So just we want to make them all a life science students, medical students, but they need to understand the concept of GCP, without which they cannot involve in the clinical research.
You can share to me so I can able to spread in network.
Do that.
So we can able to find out if anybody is involved or anybody is interested for the GCP kind of accommodations, especially the SMOs. Many hospitals, they wanted to accredit for the SMO kind of capacity. If they are having the facilities like certain number of beds and the stakeholders who are involved for conducting these studies. So we can able to provide the consultation for those hospitals who wanted to enter into clinical trial phase.
Yeah, definitely.
Site monitoring office, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, madam. Really, it is very important and very useful for those people who are doing the research as well as teaching in institutions or wanted to penetrate into this kind of health and wellness sectors. If they are having the mindset, it would be really added value for them when they are hearing your talk today. Thank you so much for making your time and effort to contribute for the human society through this particular session. Hopefully, we can have future sessions by involving with the different kind of portfolio as well as verticals for our goal sets to achieve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see.
So if no more questions, then I can finish this particular session. I will announce my next session very soon. Who will be the next personality will come and speak on the particular topic, which is more attractive for you in health and wellness sector. Thank you for making your day to spend with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I end up the session now. Is there any questions? Please let me ask through WhatsApp or communicate to me either email or something. Thank you so much.